Welcome to the start of the Arizona episode of my Route 66 adventures. We are less than 10 hours away from the end in Santa Monica. Not as many miles as there were in New Mexico, but there is about a similar amount of points of interest. So we should make a quick trip of this. So anyway, let's just get into it.
First stop is the TP Trading Post here in Lupton, and apparently you're also entering the Navajo Nation Reservation. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments. If that's true, that is pretty cool.
After clearing out some storage space in my phone, I'm able to show you the beautiful sights that is the Arizona desert. Look, almost as beautiful as New Mexico. Well, was gonna go to Petrified Forest National Park, but as of today, October 23rd, 2025, we're still in the middle of a government shutdown, so just gonna get a few pictures and video from where I can get it from and move on. This is about as close as I can get to Petrified Forest National Park. That's just depressing. Yep, that's our tax dollars at work, right there. Oh, forgot to mention, just like that, we're back on the route. Though it was on I-40 as well, so kind of didn't need to say it. Apparently that's the crossroads of Route 66. Although I don't see Robert Johnson or the devil there.
In Holbrook, I encountered the first of two wigwam motels of this route. The motel is a courtyard of individual teepee cabins. The design came from architect Frank Redford. There were only 7 wigwam motels built for his design, and this was one of the 2 located on Route 66. Redford called the motel Wigwam Village. This location has 15 wigwam units available for nightly rental for travelers. Each consists of a sleeping room and bathroom. This property also consists of a motel office, a museum, and 2 smaller wigwams which were used as restrooms for an old Texaco station that was located here. The nightly rentals were a bit out of my price range, so I just stopped for photo and video opportunities and moved on. If you have stayed in one of these wigwams, please let me know how it is in the comments.
Well, we couldn't see the Petrified Forest, but we were able to see world's largest petrified tree. Look at that. Surroundings as well. Geronimo apparently is the name of that tree. Hey, guess what? Here it is. Look at that. It's beautiful.
The Jackrabbit Trading Post is a curio shop and convenience store on Route 66. It began as a trading post during its heyday of 66. The large fiberglass Jackrabbit located outside has become a popular photo opportunity. Pixar's Cars used the Jackrabbit Trading Post's "Here It Is" sign as an inspiration for the sign depicted in the movie, with a Model T in place of the Jackrabbit. Heading into Winslow, first stop was Earl's Motor Court, which is a must visit for travelers who want the authentic American road trip experience. From their website, they say, "We are a true step back in time. A small and cozy room awaits you. The beds are covered with handmade quilts reminiscent of the golden age of Route 66. You'll feel like you're taking a trip back in time. The rooms have a charming rustic feel to them, with vintage furnishings that transport you back to a simpler time. Our beds are comfortable, and the rooms are equipped with all the amenities you could need, including air conditioning, a TV, and a mini fridge." I wasn't able to stay there myself, but all I know is you do have to actually call them and make the reservation that way, or email them. You can't go through booking.com or something like that. Just something to keep in mind. If you have stayed here, let me know how it is down below. Of course, we can't talk about Winslow, Arizona without talking about Standing on the Corner Park. Classic Eagles hit "Take It Easy," which features the lyric "Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona." That came from co-writer Jackson Brown, inspired by his experience of a car breaking down in the area and having to wait in town. He and Eagles Glenn Fry adapted the details, with Fry adding the iconic "It's a girl, my lord" in a flatbed Ford line to complete the verse.
Hey Glenn, got a question for you. What's up with Don? Like Henley? Why does he keep blocking all our shit on YouTube? Can you explain that shit? Oh well. Yeah, that's about as much a response as I was expecting. Doctor, my eyes I think I can get away with singing that. Let's see if I can get away with this. Well, I'm standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. All right, if you're seeing this in the final video, then it means that it got through. If not, you'll see it in the marathon.
Right here is the Trail of the Whispering Giants totem. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Peter Wolf Toth traveled the United States and created a series of wooden sculptures known as the Trail of the Whispering Giant. In each of the 50 states, Toth carved these totems as a tribute to honor all Native Americans across the country. One of these locations was right here in Winslow, Arizona. The totem is located in First Street Park. Right here at Kenna's Skylark Courtyard off of 2nd Street, you can find the smallest church on Route 66. This tiny church is located within the courtyard, about 5 feet by 4 feet in size, and according to the Winslow Visitor Center, this church is also being used for weddings, so if you want to run away and get married at Route 66, here's your place.
Love a good sunset, especially when the camera focuses. I think this is the winner of the biggest rest stop that I have encountered on this entire trip. Certainly the best views. So I was wanting to go over there to the meteor crate site, but the exit is closed. And there might be a detour, but I don't see one. I mean, I think they got it blocked off. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to give that a miss. Really, that's the second thing in Arizona that has had work done on it or was closed due to the government. Frustrating. This is just a gorgeous view. Like when the sun is actually out and you see the mountains in the background. It's just a gorgeous drive. Okay, am I tripping or was there more arrows than just this one? I felt like there was like 3 or like multiple ones. Y'all let me know. Am I missing some here?
We'll get to that part in a second, but first a little history. Old Twin Arrows Ruins is 2 large arrows that are part of remains of the Twin Arrows Trading Post. The Padre Canyon Trading Post was built in 1937 on Route 66. In 1955, it was turned into a tourist experience and became an iconic stop along the Mother Road. The 2 arrows were built from 2 telephone poles, and the poles were buried in the ground and the tips and feathers were added. The business closed in 1998. The Hopi tribe owns the property and reportedly restored the old Twin Arrows around 1999. Buildings and groundwork continued to deteriorate. One note, the 1994 movie Forrest Gump filmed the famous scene at this location. The scene where Forrest Gump was running across the country and a man in the t-shirt business asked for Forrest's help in coming up with an idea for a t-shirt. When a semi splashed Forrest with mud, he wiped his face on a yellow shirt and a stain looked like a smiley face. Forrest told the man, "Have a nice day," and the iconic symbol was born. You could see the historic Twin Arrows in the background of that scene. And update, as of February 2022, one of the 2 famous large arrows has fallen.
The sun has officially set. It's gonna be dark soon. And we're about 20 minutes from Flagstaff. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning, and nobody told me this about Flagstaff, but it is late October, and I woke up this morning and it was 33 Fahrenheit, almost freezing. The plan was to DoorDash and Instacart around here and then use their library in this town before moving on, but I don't do cold, so we're gonna move on to Kingman. It's about 2.5 hours. I think we can make it work, and we, just like that, we're pretty much back on the route after I make this turn here. There we go. Backtracking just a little bit, then we will continue on.
First stop in Flagstaff was the Museum Club. It's a 1931 era building on Route 66 that features a unique wooden dance floor. The club is known for their live country bands and probably line dancing too. In early 2017, the business was purchased and the entire facility was restored. Kinda hate the fact that I was there early in the morning. It does seem like the type of place I would thrive in at night. If you've been here, let me know how it is in the comments. Outside Flagstaff in Belmont was Richfield Gas Station, which also had the Pine Breeze Cabins. This location was used in the 1969 film Easy Rider, starring Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda. It's been restored in recent years.
This is part of the original Route 66. A lot of these parts are not paved. We've covered that in earlier episodes, but this is how I'm going to be able to get to the highest point of Route 66. Now we've stopped here on this back road right here to say that we are at the highest elevation on Route 66. We are 7,388.5 feet above sea level. We're gonna get off this gravel road and move on. Pavement. My car loves it. Some very beautiful mountain scenery here. The appeal of Arizona, at least this part of Arizona. By the way, this is at exit 165. If you wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, this is where you would get off. But we are doing Route 66. So we're going this way.
Continue on Bill Williams Avenue.
The town of Williams, Arizona actually did seem like a really cool town when I drove through it. I was actually considering staying at the Arizona 9 Motor Hotel because the sleeping in your car situation in Flagstaff really wasn't that good and I just needed somewhere to crash for the night. But passing by the place where you turn into to go to the Grand Canyon did have me thinking that maybe that would be a good idea to do on our return back east. So if you want to see that, you better hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and hit the like button. That way you can push this video out to more people and we can justify one of those trips. First stop in Seligman was the Aztec Motel, a classic Route 66 roadside motel originally built as a guest house in 1915. Additions in the 1950s turned this property into a classic motor-inn lodge for Route 66 travelers, and in 2021 the Aztec was refurbished. Right across the street was Delgadillo's Snowcap, which is a Route 66 and Americana-themed kitschy drive-in on the historic Mother Road. They feature burgers, malts, root beer floats, shakes, and more. They're only open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and I was there before they opened, so couldn't go in there and have some, but it does look like a cool place. This little stretch in Seligman had a lot of shops on it, including Angel Delgadillo's Barber Shop, Route 66 Gift Shop Row, and Roadrunner. If you need some Route 66 memorabilia and possibly a haircut, this is the place to go. Right down the road was Route 66 Motoporium, which is a Route 66 store with unique souvenirs, custom artwork, leather products, and custom t-shirts, and all of these cars out front that are amazing photo and video opportunities. If you have little kids with you, this is the perfect place to take them. On your way out of Seligman, you'll find the Roadkill Cafe / OK Saloon, which is a Route 66 classic known for its fun and rustic theme and humorous roadkill menu. Famous for their charbroiled burgers, but their menu features creatively named items like Awesome Possum or Curbside Kitty. I believe they do have some deer offerings. It did have a sign on there that said, "You kill 'em, we cook 'em," but I don't know how true that is because I didn't stop there, but if you did, let me know.
Another case of a lot of driving and a lot of spectacular views here in the, I don't know if you would call this the desert, but it's pretty darn close to being a desert. So as I'm driving through this road, I see that I'm passing through a lot of Native American reservations. And it just makes me think back to like when they were building Route 66 and subsequently the like Interstate 40, places like that. The people building these roads, were they respectful of the natives' land, or were they more like, screw you, we're building this road whether you like it or not? I just really would like to know and try and be a bit more sensitive about that.
Here's me pulling into the Hackberry General Store to grab a snack and go to the bathroom. The Hackberry General Store is both a store and a museum. Both inside and outside, you'll discover historic Route 66 memorabilia. Inside, you'll experience a vintage diner turned into a large gift shop. And fair warning, this is about the area of the route where cell signal definitely goes down, so be sure you've downloaded a bunch of offline maps. As you drive into Kingman, I would pay a quick visit to the Antares Point Visitor Center, where you can see the Cozy Corner trailer park signs and the Giganticus Heticus. Great photo opportunities there. Once in Kingman, pay a visit to the El Trovatore Motel. They claim to have the world's longest Route 66 map. While there are several that do claim this title, this mural incorporates cartoon characters along the route, which is nice. This was a personal highlight for me, the Kingman Railroad Museum, which the Kingman Railroad Station has had 4 depots since the first train arrived on March 28, 1883. The Atlantic and Pacific Railroad used the boxcar as the first depot until a proper depot could be built. The 4th depot is the current structure, which opened on July 22, 1907. Having lost the 2 previous depots to fire, the Santa Fe Railway built this depot to be fireproof. The building was constructed of reinforced concrete, including the roof. Stucco siding covers the reinforced structure. The Kingman Depot was added to the National Register of Historic Places in May 1986, and by the early 2000s, the depot was in disrepair and no longer in use. Restoration began in June of 2010 and was complete in 2011. Amtrak moved into the west end of the building as the crew room and passenger waiting room. The larger portion of the building houses the Kingman Railroad Museum, which opened in 2012. The museum has an extensive collection of railroad artifacts, exhibits, and model trains. This exhibit was really special to me because growing up, the first job I ever wanted to do as a kid was be a locomotive engineer, and I was a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine, and I always admired model railroad sets. And when I do retire one day to either somewhere in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, or South America, what I want in my home is a garden, a weekly gig in town, and a model train set to work on. And everything else I want, I can't say on here. So there you go.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Spence. Yeah. Same name as me. Not a very common name. He stayed and just talked with me for quite a little bit about the model trains and, the train history around Route 66 and also Kingman, Arizona. And it was a great 20, 30 minutes talking. I appreciate that. Here it is again.
Right here, I passed by the historic Beale Hotel, which was built in 1900 and catered to the railroad. In 1926, the street between the railroad and the hotel became Route 66.
Take the next left.
Yep, we're in the desert. That's for damn sure. If we weren't in it before, we're in it now. Focus, damn it. If we weren't in the desert before, we're in it now. By the way, I totally forgot to mention, I'm not staying in Kingman tonight. I'm actually gonna push on to Barstow, California. Then, of course, you're to see that in the next episode, not in this one. Y'all know the deal.
Driving through Golden Valley, I stumbled upon Cool Springs Station, which sits at the eastern entrance of the Black Mountains on Historic 66. For travelers, this was the last stop before heading into the mountains on the winding and dangerous road coming up. In 1991, Ned Luchner passed through the area and fell in love with the old ruins of Cold Springs. After several years of trying to purchase the property, the then owner finally sold it to Luchner in 2001. Restoration was complete in 2004. Today, Cool Springs is a popular stop for Route 66 travelers, as it contains a small museum and gift shop. And word to the wise, the roads coming up here are very treacherous and long, so go to the bathroom here before heading out.
This is the part of the route that is quite treacherous if you're coming westbound, because there ain't no guardrail over there. So be careful. This is the part of the route that I am pretty sure many motorcyclists have lost their lives just taking it way too fast. And many folklore of people who are trying to make it out west for a better life, whether it be for work or to make it in Hollywood. This has to be where many songs and movie scripts are written about, not just cutting it short. Makes me kind of glad that I didn't get a motorcycle for this. Like, a few of y'all might remember that I was trying to raise money for a motorcycle by just doing DoorDash, Instacart, and all that. And I'm kind of glad I kept Nessie for this purpose, just so I don't try and get too crazy on a motorcycle going through this particular part of the route. Now up there, you should be able to get some spectacular views of this area, but there's 2 cars there already, and I'm not gonna wait on them, so I'm just gonna move on. However, this pull-off doesn't have anybody there yet, so we're gonna go there. You can see a lot of memorials here. Man, look at these views. I'm king of the world! Oh wait, wrong movie.
This next little bit, I am driving through the town of Oatman, which is basically a throwback to the Wild West. I just drove through it because I really couldn't find good parking there, and I was a bit freaked out by all the donkeys there, so I decided to just drive through it. But if you do visit it, one place of note is the Oatman Hotel, Restaurant, and Saloon. The hotel was originally built in 1902 and was named the Derlin Hotel, but a fire in 1921 destroyed most of the town's buildings, including the hotel. In 1924, the hotel was rebuilt. The 8-room hotel is the only historic 2-story adobe building in Mojave County. In its early years, it was prosperous for local miners. Miners who visited the saloon would sign and date dollar bills and affix their bill to the wall. This is a tradition that continues today, with just about every open space covered in bills. The hotel has seen its share of famous people over the years as well. In 1939, Clark Gable and Carol Lombard stopped at the hotel during their honeymoon. Legend says the hotel and saloon is haunted by several ghosts.
At this rate, I believe we are about half an hour from the California border. This right here is honestly one of my favorite parts of the trip. Just zoning out, riding through, like all the desert, like just taking it all in. That's one of the highlights for me. If you're into dirt biking, this is the place you want to do it. Right out here. That does look like a lot of fun, not gonna lie. Even though I was just saying that it's probably a good idea I didn't get a motorcycle for this. So, interpret that how you want. A sign that we are getting close to California. Those trees. I don't know if they're palm trees, but they scream California to me.
Right before we got to the border, I came across Tapuk 66, which is a restaurant, bar, retail store, and swimming pool, all located on the Colorado River. It's a favorite party spot for boaters. Kinda makes me wish I'd brought my swimming suit with me, although I really didn't see anybody swimming, so it probably wouldn't have been welcomed at all. Last stop in Arizona was the Old Trails Bridge, which originally carried Route 66 over the Colorado River between Arizona and California. It's a brace-ribbed arch bridge and was built in 1915 to 1916. This bridge was used for vehicle traffic until 1947. Later, it was converted into a pipeline bridge, which leads me to my warning. Since this bridge is no longer used for public traffic and is now a utility, additional security measures are in place. Don't bypass any security, fencing, or barriers. I don't have bail money, and neither do you.
Just like that, we have concluded the Arizona part of my Route 66 adventure. We've got one more state left, California. Really appreciate y'all watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, watch something around my face. I love y'all. Thanks for changing my life. See y'all in the final episode, aka the California episode. The amount of donkeys that we've had to dodge on this part of the road It's quite an asinine number. Get it? Asinine? I'm gonna keep laughing until it's funny, because that's how comedy works.